Hey everyone, it's Casey, and this week's manner of death is homicide. Kevin Foley. Kevin Foley was a 58-year-old man living in Portland, Maine, who before retiring was a telephone company repairman. He was also a Vietnam veteran and a father of 3. He was described as a generous man who seemed to have a perfect life. However, on June 21st, 2007, Kevin Foley left his house for the last time. He was shot to death and found the next day in the Woodlawn Cemetery in Westbrook, where they also found his car. What's odd is that he knew nobody that had been buried at that cemetery, so there was no obvious reason for him to visit it. There was also no information on whether he went there on his own or was coerced. The police investigating do believe that this was not a random crime. His family finds it surprising that he died this way, considering he was never violent and had no interest in firearms. He also didn't have a crime record or a history of domestic violence, which is commonly involved in Maine homicides. It all seems really bizarre, as he had no enemies and no problems in his home life. His family still searches for answers on what happened to Kevin and who could have done this to him. If you have any information on Kevin's case, you can contact the Maine State Police at 1-800-228-0857 if you are in-state, or 207-624-7076 if you are out of state. Frances Moulton. Frances Moulton was a 25-year-old woman, transient, who was living in the Sanford, Maine area. She was last seen by her family in July of 2006. On June 23, 2009, her body was discovered in a well in Lebanon, Maine. Unfortunately, there is not much more known about Frances or any updates on her case, which I find kind of odd because her case seems very suspicious. I mean, her body was found in a well. I don't know. If you have any information about her case, you can contact the Maine State Police at 1-800-228-0857 if you're in-state, or 207-624-7076 if you are out of state. Michael Roderick. Michael Roderick was a man living at 646 Eastern Avenue in Augusta, Maine. He was known to hang out with the wrong type of crowd and allegedly was a drug dealer and also a convicted sex offender. On October 16, 2008, Michael was found dead in his home by a friend. I could not find out any more information about Michael or his case. If you have any information about his case, you can contact the Maine State Police at 207-624-7143. Darrel Smith. Daryl Smith was a 56-year-old man who was living at his residence in Woodland, Maine. He was the owner of a small sawmill company called Smith's Sawmill and Logging. His business was located near their home, and it was there on February 6, 2008, that his wife found him dead. He was shot. His wallet had been stolen, and so had the safe from his business. Although later on they did collect the safe. No arrests have ever been made in his case. If you have any information about Daryl's case, you can contact the Maine State Police at 207-973-3750. Tabitha Pursley. Tabitha Pursley was a 24-year-old woman who was born on June 11, 1985, and was living at 88 Elm Street in Lewiston, Maine. On August 5, 2009, a 911 call was made at 5:37 p.m. from the residence by a man named Joshua B. Gordon. Joshua was the boyfriend of Tabitha and had apparently also lived at the same residence. He had called to report that she had hung herself in their closet. Her case was originally ruled a suicide, but it was then changed to homicide. Since 2009, her case remains open and the police have not made any progress in who caused her death. If you have any information about Tabitha's case, please contact the Maine State Police at 1-800-228-0857 if you're in-state, and 206-624-7076 if you're out of state.